She's back. Woo, here I am, guys. If I sound disgusting, that's because I am. I don't think many people realize this, but like Atlanta is horrible with pollen. I mean, there's like a blanket of yellow nasty all over everything, even myself. I can't even like go outside. It's like I'm not complaining, but like I went for a walk and I was like, I'm gonna die. Like this is awful. And honestly, I truly don't even if you don't experience I had never had allergies in my life until I moved here. But also I'm from Florida and Florida doesn't have this, okay? We've got other things, but we just don't have pollen like this in Fort Lauderdale. So, when you try to explain it to someone and you're like, "Wow, I feel like I have the flu. Wow, I like don't feel well. Like I feel terrible. I need to like lay down." They're like, "What? What's wrong with you?" But if you know, you know. Okay? Ain't no amount of Zyrtec is going to help me either. I don't even know what's going to help me at this point, you guys. I mean, it's like I'm in between psychiatrists. I got to be honest. I wasn't really rocking and rolling with the one I had, but she's the one who gives me the Ativan for my panic attacks. So, should I stay friends with her? No. So, I'm asking like my primary care physician for it. And she's like, well, we only give you like 10 for the year for emergency situations. I'm like, that's good for me. That's actually good for me because an emergency situation is way different than me being like, I am very anxious today. I've had massive panic attacks, like, which is kind of wild. I actually had one like last year, which is like, why 3 years out? Why didn't I have them the first year? But something about your nervous system kind of settling into deciphering what's dangerous and just what just sucks. That kind of happens in year 3 and 4. So if you're not there yet, something to look forward to. Oh my God. Well, anyways, guys, kind of wanted to talk about gifts that our babies give us. And, sure, maybe Brody gave me the gift of panic attacks. I like to joke that all three of my children are driving me crazy, Brody the most, which is wild because he's not even here. And then I have my living ones who, drive me crazy in the sense where I'm like consistently trying to keep them alive. And my brain is in constant 10 steps ahead of them. Like I just literally properly disposed of everything in this house that has a lithium battery because I'm becoming, what if it explodes at night? What if they eat it? Like, my 2.5-year-old has never stuck anything in his mouth before in his entire life. So I don't know why he would start now, but like, what if? So I'm constantly staying ahead of them. And if you're listening and you're like, wow, I'm terrified of that, I haven't even started trying it. Look, it is manageable, it's doable, and they are the light of my freaking life. Like, I don't know what I would do without them, to be quite honest with you. And I'm not saying babies replace babies, and I'm not saying I'm resting all of my happiness on them, but it's worth it because no matter what, you're going to be stressed out when you have children, even if you didn't have loss. So this is just sometimes next level. I will say I'm much better. My 2.5-year-old, well, he's about to be 3. When he was first born, psychopath, psycho, keep him in the house, bubble. We started traveling. That poor baby got COVID, the flu. He got RSV in the first 10 months of life. And I was like, wow, I'm the worst mother ever. Every single doctor was like, no, bitch, you can't keep him in a bubble. And my therapist, who's fantastic about this kind of stuff, was like, look, 2 things are going to happen here. One, you're just going to learn through life experience that not everything is going to be the end of the world. Not everything. Even though our brains will always go there, with lived experience, you'll find, oh, hey, they fell down the stairs and they're totally fine. And everybody around you laughs about it. You're like, wow, because I honest to God thought I was going to die of a panic attack, And then basically filling up I guess it's my toolbox, but also my survival kit because it's what I go to in the event something bad happens. So, like, when they get sick, I know that these are the medications they take. If it gets to the point that it's not manageable, we go to the ER. We go to Children's Hospital. That's just the protocol. And now I speak it because I've been paying attention and asking questions and taking notes. So now I can talk to the doctors about what's going on here. Also, my balls are huge. My balls are huge, okay? Gross. But yes, I have Zero problem stepping to doctors. Zero problem asking 1,000 questions. What? I'm going to be embarrassed about that? Who gives a fuck? I'm going to walk away wondering what's going on with my child? Absolutely not. I'm going to get as much information as I possibly can. And if your knees are shaking and you go weak, like you're going to vomit, stepping to doctors or getting aggressive or becoming an advocate, you don't always have to be aggressive. I'm actually not that aggressive, but only when I need to be. Go do it anyway. You're scared? Do it anyway. You don't want to? Do it anyway. Because the worst thing right now, as a parent of livings, is to walk away and something happens and regret not doing what your gut told you to do because you were scared. Homie, don't play that game anymore. I don't fucking care. It is Mama Bear times 1,000 because I know what it's like to hold my dead child and I will do everything in my power to never do that again. But I did say in my power. Not everything's in my power. Not everything's in my power. I've had to establish what I can control and what I can't. I'm not going to let go of what I can't. You know that thing like, and let go and accept the things I can't. No. I'm not going to accept that I have no control over that. I'm going to put into place a game plan if shit goes south. That's where I get my control. I may not be able to control what happens, but I can control how I react to it. That to me is empowering. It's a gift. These are gifts, okay? In the very beginning, Brody gave me like significant trauma, PTSD, and excruciating sadness. And there was a point that I realized I hated that. That I hated that the thought, the memory of my son did that to me. That the only thing I could take from him was pain. That was a turning point for me where I was like, absolutely not. He cannot be just pain in my life. I'm going to be honest, it took a couple of years. It took a couple of years. So you've got the trenches, what happens right after you get home from the hospital without them. You got acute grief, which lasts most likely 4 to 6 months. And then you've got your early grief, which I think lasts about 2 years. Okay. And then if you're also having babies, bitch, you are just still in trauma and you cannot heal trauma while you're actively in it. Year 3 hit and I was like, I have got to make sure he's more to me than just pain. That was a massive turning point. And that was me leaning into and accepting the gifts that he gave me. That's the thing. You don't really want to be like, oh, I'm a better person because he died. That sounds fucked up. But I am. Which means he didn't die for nothing. The gifts that he has given me, I have chosen to accept. And these gifts, when I say gifts, means a better version of myself that I like. That is a good version. That is a good thing for me in my life. Things that I didn't have about myself prior to his death. And it's okay to say that your baby gave you gifts. It's okay to say that they changed your life for the better. What's the alternative? My baby makes me hate my life and I want to die? Yeah, absolutely in the first couple of years, 100%. But then what? We can't live in that space forever. We just can't. And nor do they want us to. And by the way, we're the only ones that can say that to each other. If anybody on the outside is like, but we don't want you to be sad, they get a punch to the nose. I'm just kidding, guys. I've never hit anybody in my entire life. I've thought about it a lot, but never done that. I cut with words. The gifts that he's given me, I am actually really, really thankful for. I'm not thankful for the reason that I have them. I don't think he died so that I could have them. But I'm really, really thankful for being able to see them. That is what the work I've done has resulted in. There comes a point in the second year, maybe rolling into the third, where you have to make a decision. You have to step out of your own suffering. You have to decide that you're going to live a good life for them, with them, not leaving them behind, not forgetting them, not staying stuck in their death. They did live. because in order to die, you have to live. So, in order to move forward, you have to make that decision that you're going to do it, and you have to do it yourself. And I've talked about this before. If you haven't listened to my episode called The Dig Out, listen to it, because this has to happen. You have to survive the first year. You then have to learn how to dig yourself out of the dark places alone, because no one is coming to save you, not one person. Okay. And then you have to learn how you're going to move forward with the gifts that you're given. You have to learn how to step into this new version of yourself, because it's not a bad one. Sure, there are things about me that I'm kind of like, wow, I'm a fucking bitch because this happened to my son. Fine, okay? But the majority of the things about me, I am thankful for. But I had to give myself permission to be thankful for them. I had to give myself permission to recognize them and to accept them and to step into this new version, an unwanted version of myself. I didn't ask for this. None of you did. We didn't want this life, which is probably the most fucked up part, because you're like, wow, my baby died. Not my fault. I didn't sign up for this. And not only did he die, so did myself, my old self. Parts of me died. My safety in the world died. How I understood life died. Relationships died. Everything changes. And a lot of people on the outside don't understand that. This is a traumatic loss of a piece of yourself. This isn't just a loss. So why is she acting like this? You know, if it's just, No, it's life altering. And even then, in the first year, I was suffering massive PTSD. And people throw that word around like, I have PTSD from the Starbucks order being wrong. No, bitch. PTSD is a massive shutdown of your nervous system where you're constantly living in flight mode. And flight mode is exhausting. Your cortisol levels go up. Your inflammation goes up. Some of us can't even get pregnant again after, because we are just so jacked up. And it takes significant work to get it back to normal. That's what year 3 was for me. Holy balls. Bitch, what is happening to your system? Your skin is freaking out. You are gaining weight and you don't even know how you are. Like, there's crazy things going on in my system. And having to get that leveled out was part of the whole thing. But basically, you know, once I accepted that, okay, this is who I am now. This is what it's like. Because the first 12 months are not your new normal, guys. That's survival mode. I wouldn't even say year 2 is your new normal. After that, you start to slip into your normal. How this feels. I think your new normal comes around 5 to 7 years. And I've heard that from many people in the space, that it takes about 5 to 7 years to start to feel normal in your own grief, normal in your own life. I'm almost there. This January coming up will be 5 years for me, so I'll let y'all know. Because it still feels a little rocky, a little shaky. I still question myself sometimes and my level of grief, my level of pain. But just giving myself grace has been the best gift I can give myself. But yeah, the gifts that Brody's given me have been just great. And I think number one he's given me is the gift of presence. Prior to his death, I think I was constantly thinking of where else I could be, what else I could be doing, what's happening next. And now, with my living kids, I do everything in my power to be present when I'm spending time with them. I'm focused on them. My phone is away. I shut down social media at a certain time and don't turn it back on till the next day. I give myself time away from work, away from my desk. I used to be a workaholic. Give myself the ability to be present with those who matter and make time for those who matter. Not for the ones that don't, fuck them. But for the ones that matter, yes. That has been a huge gift. And I don't know if I would be the mother I am if Brody had not died. And I'm okay to say that. Because he's given me gifts in his life and in his death. He can't die for nothing. Guys, like, how horrible. What is the alternative? That he died for no reason. Like I'm not saying there's a reason for his death. I'm just saying that something good has to come from it. Otherwise, then what? Then what? He just died? His life meant nothing? No, his life had to mean something. And this is what I'm trying to live out. Also, he's given me the gift of authenticity. I think I faked it a lot. Almost my whole life. faked the idea of perfection, faked the image that everything was perfect and great. And the second he died, I realized nothing would ever be perfect again, ever. Even if I have the most beautiful life, nothing would ever be perfect again. And I couldn't fake that it would be, because that's ridiculous. If I'm having a problem, I vocalize it. Not always on the internet. I do keep some things private. But, if I'm going through something, I try to be honest about it. Am I the perfect weight that I want to be? No. That's okay. I've had 3 fucking babies. Do I wish I was this or that, or did more of this or that? Sure. But I have to be honest with, like, okay, that's just not how it is. And I'm not going to fake that. I'm not going to fake perfection. I'm not going to fake that I like you if I don't. I'm not going to fake that I have it all figured out. I'm not going to do any of that. And if somebody gets that perception of me, I will correct them, because there's no way I want to make anybody feel bad about where they're at in life. Do I want to motivate and inspire people? Absolutely. But if they're like, oh, wow, you got it all together, I'm going to be like, no, I don't. I just look good while I do it. I just look good while I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, what you see is what you get. That was never the case before, and it is now. And guess what? It's very freeing. It's very freeing to not put off airs. It's very freeing to not strive for perfection or some sort of image. And there's something, I think, inspirational about that, because I think a lot of moms do feel that they have to be a certain way. With social media and all these people with their perfect homes and their perfect cooking and their toddler eating all these amazing meals. My kid survives on pouches and crackers right now because, my God, I'm doing my absolute best. That's just what he wants. Am I a bad mom for it? No. But if I were to lean into like what I'm seeing online, yeah, I could be. I think there's a breath of fresh air when you find another mom who's hanging by a thread and has a witty ass sense of humor. And then he's given me the gift of perspective. Like, I have a perspective now that comes from a lens of loss. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I had a psychiatrist tell me, like, that's bad. Like, you don't want to have a lens of loss. You want to have a normal lens. That's impossible. I want to have a lens from loss, because there's so many good things that can come from that. But with that comes perspective. Little tiny bullshit things don't really matter. Unless it fires off my ADHD and my OCD, then it matters. But like, no, in the grand scheme, it doesn't. And understanding that things are temporary. Everything in this life is temporary. That we are a constant work in progress, and that's okay. That there's no destination with grief. The journey is learning to live with it your whole life. As these things come, as the phases change. And the perspective that life is fast. And that people matter, and understanding there's pain, and having compassion and empathy for everybody around you, being highly touched by loss of a child right now just fully sends me. Understanding that mean girl who's giving you shit for no reason has her own problems, her own issues. Diagnosing that and not getting affected by it is perspective. Also, choosing to not have to deal with somebody's toxicity is perspective. Looking out for yourself, giving yourself rest and grace when you need it, and saying, I can pick this up at another time. Perspective. I'm happy with these gifts. And I could even go as far as to say, I like where my life is going in this space. Being able to help people, that's a gift from Brody. And using my skill sets that I've had my whole life to put towards this is a gift. And giant balls. It's a gift. My hope for you is that if you haven't yet, the good things in your life that have enhanced your life, that you like about yourself, I hope you can step into those gifts. Accept those gifts from your baby. Lean into those gifts. Because they are making you into the next version of yourself, the highest version of yourself. And it's okay to do that. And I hope you can do that. And you guys know where to find me. You can always book a one-on-one with me if you want to talk about this, figure out what your gifts are, how to step into them, looking for them, accepting them, being okay with them, and then leaning into them is all a process. And I'm here for that. We survive, we learn how to dig out, we rebuild, and then we rise from there. With them with us always. The pain will always be with us. But now it's time to step into this unwanted life that we need. And this is part of how we do it. And owning it. Yeah. My son did this. My son made me this way and gave me these gifts. How proud of a mom are you to say that? Our angels. All right, guys, thanks so much for being here. I hope that this was really, really helpful. Next week, I'll have another mama on. And of course, reach out if you want to schedule a time. Go to catherinelazar.com. We do have 2 more group sessions this Wednesday. The heck is the date? 24. The 25th. We are going to be talking about blame, anger, and regret, which is a massive part of what takes place prior to death and also during delivery. So we're going to be talking about that, how to carry that forward. And then next week, we're going to be talking about trying to conceive after loss. That can be for anybody. You don't have to be in the first year. It is a massive phase after stillbirth, and it's one that definitely needs to be talked about. So grab a seat there. It's a very small group, very intimate. It's guided, led by me, experiential insight, as well as education that I've learned through my certification programs. Then there's community engagement and support, just talking to each other and telling stories and what we are having challenges with. So hope you guys can make that. And then, of course, my one-on-ones. Go to catherinelazar.com to book any of those, and I will see you guys next time.